What is going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and welcome back to the Loft Makeover series, episode 2. So just to start off, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who watched and left a comment on the first episode. I believe it reached over 300,000 people, which I couldn't have imagined. I knew a lot of you guys loved the interior design, the makeover, and the tech hybrid of this channel, but I obviously couldn't have expected that many people would be excited for that series as much as I am, because obviously it is a huge investment for the company, and we're essentially putting a lot of our resources into creating a studio that can make good content for many years to come, while also expanding outside of YouTube. In this video, I'm going to focus on design. We took a look at what it looked like before in the first episode. So in this one, the renovations are already in motion. Pretty much everything has been demolished, and some of the new stuff and the next phase of the visual changes are actually in progress as we speak. So the demolition process was obviously very extensive, and in the first episode we got a lot of comments from people saying it looks great as it is, it doesn't really have to be changed, and I agree in some way in the fact that you could totally go and live in it as it is, but in terms of an office studio that is an improvement from the current home office, I feel like every single thing was just not exactly what I was thinking. So that was one of the most common questions in the first episode. So this one hopefully will kind of talk about the design vision, and maybe you guys will like it more, or you might like the classic design a little bit. And I also got a lot of comments saying how I managed to get this place for $40,000. If you listen closely, I mentioned that I got this place for over $40,000 under the province's assessed price. So I didn't get it for $40,000. That would have been very nice. But in the end, it was over 500 Canadian, which I wouldn't say is cheap, but it's still a price that is very investable for where I am. On the topic of homes though, I want to give a huge thanks to LG and their Pure Care Mini for sponsoring this video. As you can see, it comes in both a white and black color, and it just looks super sleek like LG's design, but in terms of functionality, it is the perfect product for any small space or office. What this is able to do is provide you with cleaner air, and just from this unit itself, it is able to provide you with up to 8 hours with the built-in battery, and it recharges via USB Type-C. It weighs just about 1 pound, so you can throw it in your bag and take it with you everywhere, and is like the same size of a 500 milliliter water bottle. It is able to remove up to 99% of the allergens, particles, and fine dust in the air, so we're going to talk about this a little bit later in the video. I'm also going to be giving away a Google Nest Hub Max to one of you guys, so if you want to enter, just make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, and leave a comment down below about your favorite feature of this place. And make sure you also follow me on Instagram and have your post notifications on, because I'm going to be giving you guys behind the scenes story updates over on Instagram, and I've got many more series coming to YouTube. I'll be announcing a winner in the comment section in 2 weeks. So in episode 1, I showed you the place in the initial state before any renovation crew came in, and gave you a walkthrough of what it looked like before and some of the ideas that I may have had. In the couple months since, it's finally time to update you, and by now all of the decisions have been made in terms of what I'm gonna do for the space. You can probably tell that it's very echoey, it's very empty at the moment, but this is essentially about a month and a half of work in all the teardowns, the flooring, as well as the subfloor. You've also got all the fireplaces, the entire kitchen, and some of the concrete pieces. And we also had all the electric work done, the kitchen ordered, the floors chosen, the bathroom options, furniture has also been ordered for the upstairs and the downstairs. The railing is in progress at the moment. And I would say in the last week or so after the electric work was done, the drywall has all been patched up to a stage 4 kind of finish, and the painting crew is into their initial layers, and that is all done before the flooring crew comes in next week. The kitchen is installed in a couple weeks, and the renovation will essentially really start to take shape after kind of a bit of a slow month and a half of just getting everything to its shelled state. I want to talk about the design and kind of the decisions and vision that I have for this space. I know we touched on it a little bit in the first episode, but I'm going to talk about it in more detail. And obviously in any renovation project, stuff changes all the time. In the beginning, I had a renovation budget of about $40,000 to $50,000 Canadian, but that has since gone up to around 80 to 90, because there were a few things that I wasn't planning to change originally, but because of new sponsors and new partners, we decided that it makes sense just to do some of the changes all at once. But I think it totally could have been done around 50 to 60,000, and as I mentioned, that's Canadian dollars and specific to where I live. My project manager is actually a buddy from high school who works for a big construction company, so I was able to get very honest opinions towards the pricing and also who the best tradespeople are in town. So looking at the design itself, I did hire a design firm called Bidgood. They do like a lot of restaurants and local places, so I found their work and decided that for this project, I wanted to go with something a little bit different than what my house looks like, which I personally designed. I would say a lot of the design process is stuff that I personally decided and had already had set in mind going into it, such as concrete floors because of just like the natural industrial look, but also the ease of being able to slide all the camera equipment around without damaging the floors. So looking at the floor plan itself, when it comes to the layout, the downstairs is gonna stay pretty much the same. Some of the things that are gonna be removed is that pole and the pot holder in the kitchen, and the bathroom is gonna be renovated as well. That was something that I wasn't originally planning to do. And in the main area of the place, it is also going to have the fireplace removed. The fireplace was like a big question as to whether or not the strata was gonna allow you to. Different buildings have different rules. Some of them are more lenient than others, but thankfully this building was relatively chill about it. So the removal fee of the fireplace was about $1,000 because I had to get up to the roof, axe everything out and flatten it out to the wall, remove it, disposal fees. And what I've noticed is that disposal and demolition is definitely not cheap because a lot of it has to do with weight. Going on to the upstairs, this area probably saw some larger kind of structural changes. The fireplace was already removed there, and I don't really see it that often where a fireplace is put on the second floor. It was like a double pane glass one, but it just kind of blocked the view, and by removing it, it was able to make the place feel way bigger. So in addition to that, I also had the shower taken out, the wall on that side removed, the wall where the bathroom is extended because there wasn't a bathroom door before. And if you guys remember in the first episode, I mentioned that I wasn't planning to move the bathroom at all. I was just gonna keep it the way it is, unrenovated, but I decided that it just made sense to do right away, and because the bathtub was already in like a very crammed area, I debated keeping it for value reasons, but after consulting with a few people, the value that the bathtub added was relatively insignificant, so I decided to turn that into a large standing shower that is tiled. So yeah, that bathroom is gonna go through an entire renovation. The toilet is gonna be removed as well because they were kind of broken. Kind of moving on to the next thing is the kitchen design. So this is where the kitchen used to be, and even though it wasn't the best looking kitchen, this is not one that we're gonna be using a lot. It's gonna be mainly just to work, maybe do a couple B-roll videos. I don't know, I might even start cooking on it, who knows. But yeah, it was a pretty big part of the place that you can see from 3 dimensions, whether it's like as soon as you walked in, the main area of the office, and also from above. So I feel like it does make sense to make it look as nice as possible and have it match the entire look. And I just love putting together kitchens because there's so many directions you can go. So the idea that I had going into this entire project was to do a dark kitchen. In my current place that I live in is kind of like a dark gray and a light hybrid with a white countertop, and I really like it. I feel like for resale reasons, it is a relatively safe bet, but I really wanted to go with like a dark matte black kitchen for this one. I know people have like their preferences for wood, but for the office, I wanted to go with just matte black, a very like sleek, modern feel to it. That would be a cool area to hang out because the rest of the place is still gonna have white walls. So when it came to the kitchen, I was originally planning to go with the IKEA Kungsbacka line to save money, but the company that did my kitchen here was able to offer me a pretty good deal, and we did some video stuff for them as well, and I decided that it just made sense to go with like a custom higher quality kitchen. And we went back and forth on many designs, whether it was having the kind of retained shelf design, having open shelving, and just having cabinets on one side because of the lower ceiling. The other issue was that there was a vent pipe that was sticking out and would obstruct the view and look really stupid. So there was a couple things that we had to go around, and at the end I decided to settle on a custom millworked range hood, and I think it looks incredible. And in terms of pricing, it actually wasn't that bad because the actual range insert was only like $300 to $400. So instead of like cramming it with cabinets, we decided to keep one side, which is the cooking side, very open and have a stone backsplash cover the entire back. And the countertops that I chose are from the Constantino Group's Silestone brand, and it is called Soapstone. A charcoal soapstone, I believe, and it is like a matte gray that looks super cool. And for the backsplash, I went with white. That way it wasn't too dark and gave it a nice contrast for the custom millworked range hood. Some of the other details in the kitchen include sliding on the side where the chairs go. There's also cabinets on each side that are walnut, and the shelf is walnut. So although I have like the overall black look that I enjoy, it still has a bit of contrast. In terms of appliances, I spent just about $4,000. In American money, that is, I believe, like $3,000 or just a bit less than that. And I also had all of the appliances sold on Facebook Marketplace, and how much did we get for that? We got like $1,500 or $1,600 for all the appliances, and considering a lot of it came from 2001, I feel like that was actually a pretty good deal because I was able to upgrade to brand new stuff for a couple thousand more. I'm also gonna do a separate video on like the furniture selection, but one of the other big centerpieces is the stairs and the railings, and it's gonna be made by a local company, Freeman Fabrication, and it is gonna be like a flat bar steel design that looks super clean, much more seamless and customized, as opposed to the large bolts and the blue glass on the previous option. This comes out to a price of around 5 figures because it is handmade and steel is not exactly cheap, and the stair treads are likely going to be black, but the other piece of millworking is gonna be on the big unit that sticks out and kind of creates a dining den, and that is gonna be walnut slats. The original plan was to go with a black design for that, but I feel like walnut really goes with parts of the kitchen because it is a hybrid of the walnut and the black, and so I decided that that would add quite a bit of color as opposed to the overall monochrome look that I was originally planning. Before I move on to the next thing though, I want to give a huge thanks to LG and their Pure Care Mini for sponsoring this video, and I feel like it is super fitting because the air quality in the loft right now is terrible. They took out all the floors, there was subfloor, there was drywall, you name it, and just like particles flying around everywhere, and especially right now, I feel like this is a great product for anybody who is working from home or just needs like a good way to keep their air clean around the house because it eliminates up to 99% of all dust particles, allergens, and more. It is certified by Intertech to remove 99% of 0.3 micron ultrafine dust, and also certified by the British Allergy Foundation for its air cleansing and allergen removing capabilities. What I also like though is that it is very quiet at just 30 decibels, and you can go ahead and just press this power button to turn it on. It will set to an auto mode by default. You can also turn it to a low or a high, very easy to use, and it can also connect to your phone through Bluetooth. So to use it, go ahead and press the button, it will turn on, and it has a 4-color LED indicator up here that goes from green when the air quality is cleanest and red when it's at its most polluted levels. I think it's just got like a very elegant design, which is much appreciated. Super simple. It's got like this metal edging, which is very high quality, and chamfered edges that really pop out. And it also has access to the filter just by opening this up right here and taking that out. I'm personally having a bit of trouble deciding which one I like more, but I think they both look really good and they're just super portable. Throw it in your bag, take it with you, put it on your desk or anything you want. It just stays out of the way, but at the same time, is actually a pretty good decor piece. So if you guys want to go ahead and check this out for yourself, I'm going to drop a link down below. The walls themselves are going to be painted in a white color called Chantilly Lace, which I've used for all of my places because it is just like the most neutral white, and for filming, it just makes a lot of sense. So that was like a pretty easy option. As you scroll down, you can see the overall mood is like a monochromatic, but also a clean and crisp look that gives a lot of customization. I think the key with this place is to have versatility in design. So you've got the black sliding, you have the gray look, you also have some of the wood touches, the concrete floors, which I'm very happy were a possibility. We had to kind of bring in different opinions to ensure that it was doable. What I'm really excited for in the railing is just how open it's gonna be. It's just gonna like be able to give you the view from the top looking down, and you've got all of your equipment and setups and all these things that are organized that it just got me very excited, and I can't wait to see it done. So just to give you an update on the upstairs, you might remember in the first episode, this side didn't even have a bathroom door. It was just like a piece of plexiglass or whatever it was, and the shower was completely outside of the bathroom itself. So originally I wasn't planning to redo the bathroom, but I decided that it just made sense to do all at once and just might as well go all out and actually complete it because I was already spending quite a bit of money on the rest of the place. So we had the shower right here taken out, and some of the plumbing was already like well suited to be able to flip it around and have a shower installed on that side instead of the bathtub that it was before. It was like a pretty crammed bathtub in the corner, so I felt like in this case it kind of made sense just to have a nice shower instead. And in terms of the bathroom itself, you might have seen before, it was really compact. There wasn't much space to it. So I'm gonna have a cabinet go pretty much all the way up to the edge while saving enough space for the toilet. And of course, you probably noticed that there's actually a wall built out to here now. Before it was only up to around here, I would say. And they also had to just finish it off and put a door so that the barn door can go on that side. But otherwise, we did some electrical changes up here, added some outlets on both sides of the center one, moved the internet switch all the way over to here. And I'm planning to possibly have a thin cabinet up against the wall as a coffee nook, a networking center for all of the boring tech stuff, and also all of our equipment, such as like camera accessories and everything, just to have it easy to grab and go. In terms of desks, I have a plan to put 4 of them up here. It is not going to be the most amount of space, which sounds kind of funny to say because this is my new office, but I think it's enough space for 4, but definitely not to the point where we're gonna be like trying to fit everybody up here in the event that we end up expanding even more. So yeah, there's gonna be 2 right here, 2 right there. All of the power has been sorted, but otherwise it just kind of overlooks the rest of the place. When it comes to the bathrooms, nothing really that special. It is just gonna be like the matte black for the upstairs and walnut for the downstairs, customized size, and the layout of the bathroom upstairs was really weird before. It kind of had like the semicircle to it. So what I've done is just have it go like to the both sides and just give you much more storage. And on the shower side of things, it is just gonna be retiled white subway. The floor is gonna be a penny mosaic matte gray design that I found on Facebook for like $3.50 a square foot, as opposed to 15 at retail. So Facebook Marketplace has definitely been our friend in this project, and the actual floors itself are gonna be a hexagon for both bathrooms. As for the faucets, that is also gonna be matte black, and I found one on Facebook for $100, brand new, never used, and they were originally $300. And for the shower, I purchased them off Amazon and feel like that was also a pretty good value. As for the upstairs furniture, I have decided to go with a walnut and black design, and I think that is just gonna look super good from Ergonoffice, and I am so excited for that as well. In terms of the actual office flooring, it is gonna be carpet tile because after weighing the options of going with laminate or vinyl, or just doing like general carpet, I feel like carpet tiles are a good medium to stay relatively simple, very durable and easily replaceable, but at the end of the day was very economical. And say I wanna put like my camera equipment on the ground or wanna reduce the amount of echo or noise coming from the second floor, that was like simply the best option hands down. So here are some of the updates in this phase of the demolition where everything was like essentially knocked down and stripped down to the bone. In terms of demolition, I spent about $6,000 and a lot of it was to do with weight, but the team was really fast and they were able to just knock everything out. And the first steps were obviously just to like take everything apart and then start fresh, do the drywalling. The electric work also went in, so a lot of the walls got ripped out from that. I think that is where we're at in the process right now. And the next step is to do the first coat of paint, the floors, and then the kitchen is scheduled for next month. Another very important steps in the remodel and transition into the office is the electric work, and that is super underrated because the amount of lights, the amount of power outlets, the heating and cooling and all this kind of stuff that you want to bring up to date in a 20-year-old unit is one part of the process that might seem very boring, but I was personally super excited about. So because everything was stripped down and it was already like kind of bare and really messy in there, it was super easy just to say, I want to take this out, I want to add something here, add a couple outlets here, add 16 lights to the entire place, and they could just cut the wall as they will because drywall was going to have to be done anyways. So I have an electrician that I used in my place who did like the hallway lights and everything. We just went in there and I said, instead of having like these track lights, I want to have 6 of those like recessed bulbs for filming. We also tested it with our camera to ensure that the choices were the right ones. Also adding a new heater to the space that is above everything so it doesn't get in the way, adding a shop light for general lighting, changing up the pot system in the kitchen, and also switching out the fan up top to produce a better cooling system, stuff like that. And most importantly, upstairs didn't actually have any pot lights before, so I decided to add 9, I believe. And these are all just like part of the upgrades when it comes to using it as an office and making it very easy for us. And I also had power outlets added pretty much every 6 feet. So you've got like 1 in the middle, was split into 2 on the side. Everything was done to code. Downstairs, you have all new outlets as well. And I also had all of the switches replaced and also some outlets added at a counter height in case I want to build like a coffee nook upstairs. So the total cost for labor in the electric work was about $6,000 to $7,000, and you also have to factor in the cost of the lighting and the heating, which is going to be added on top. So in terms of the project itself and where we're at, it started at around July, and it is now late September, and there's always ways that it could have been done a little bit faster, but from the demolition to the different teams that had to come in to do the fireplace, redoing some of the plumbing, the electric work, and all that kind of stuff, we're at the point where drywall is now completed. The new walls have been put in, and painting is gonna start on Friday. So I feel like in the next episode, you guys can expect a lot of changes in the visual side of things and just the place really coming to life for the first time, because this first couple weeks has just been stripping everything down and looking at an essentially shelled space. On my end, in terms of what I could do, I've already ordered all the furniture for the place. Rove Concepts worked with us once again, which we're very happy about. The countertops have been picked up, the kitchen cabinets have been ordered, so has the bathroom, and those are scheduled for late October, about a 4 to 6 week lead time. The railings are being made as we speak, and the millwork is starting as well. The flooring has all been picked up, and the polished concrete is going to be starting next week. So everything is just all of a sudden packed into this next couple weeks, and by around mid-October, the place will be ready to go aside from the kitchen installation. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and make sure you have your notifications on because I have many more episodes for this series coming up, and I'll see you all in the next video.